to tell people so that and guide people to the right. So people know what to do and they have an incentive to do the right and refrain from doing the wrong. That is how Allah teaches people. So Allah gives us from the history of mankind the examples of both. He gives the example of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam as to how he went against the king, he went against the population of the city, the father, everybody, to say the right thing. He immigrated from Iraq all the way to Egypt on foot. Then he came, left, and then when Allah gave him a son at 90 or 80 years of age, Allah commanded him to leave that son in Mecca, which was nothing. It was just a barren piece of land between hard rock. Not even a tree was there. And he left his wife and his child there. And then Allah rewarded him. Allah rewarded him that from, imagine a person for 80 years, like millions, if not hundreds of thousands of people who are his direct progeny of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. The Arabs, there are tons of Muslims, the Jews. Look at it. Is that not a miracle? Is that not a blessing? For 80 years you are longing for one child, and Allah gave you two, and Allah made so much blessing in it that now the world is teeming with his offsprings. So Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salam in Quran, specifically addressing the Jews, telling them incidents from their past, from their history, and saying, how can you deny? Don't you look at your history? Don't you know what has happened before? Don't you read? What is stopping you? You know the truth all too good. And then those who had open hearts and minds, whose hearts' words had already been submitted to Allah, who were true in their belief, like Hazrat Abdullah ibn Salam and Hazrat Salma radiallahu anhuma. They became Muslims, but many of them, just because of their tribal prejudice, they refused until they either got expelled or got killed. And they used to say, no, whatever we have is good for us. We have our ancestors. Even if we are doing something wrong, they're going to come and they are going to save us. And that is what Allah says, Tilka ummatun qad khalat. Your ancestors, they were the people who had gone before you. Laha ma kasabat walakum ma kasabtum. Whatever they earned or whatever they did was their deed. It is for them. Good or bad, they will get that reward of it. Whatever you are doing, you are going to get the reward for it. Thing is, you have to be on the same path what was told to you by your forefathers in order to be associated with them. Okay, is just being born in a person's home good enough to be saying, oh, I am the real successor of my father? If a person is born, he does everything against whatever his father tells him. And then the person claims, oh, I am the successor of my father, give me whatever status my father had. No, it's an absurd demand. You are successor, or you deserve to be called a child of somebody if you are on the same path. You inherit the same status by following the same path. Your inheritance, especially in the matters of religion, not in the matters of word. Yeah, in the matters of word, the matter of the money and the estate and all those things, yes, only blood is what is required. But in the matter of deen, in the matter of any higher status, stature, abilities, you have to follow the same path. Just because my father was a PhD doctor does not make me a PhD doctor. I have to earn a PhD on my own to be qualified to be called a doctor of something. Just because my father was an Imam Masjid does not make me an Imam Masjid until I have the requisite knowledge to lead a prayer. One day, Sahaba was sitting and Rasulullah came and he said, I saw a strange dream. I had a strange dream. Sahaba said, Ya Rasulullah, what was the dream? Rasulullah said that I saw the dream that Hazrat Israel alayhi salam, he came to take the spirit, the soul of a person, like to make the person dead. When he came near him, he saw that the person was very obedient to his parents. So that Israel alayhi salam, he gave him some more time to live. Then I saw that a person who was about to be put in the torment of the grave. So grave is either a place of torment or a place of pleasure or rest. So when we die, we actually don't die. Within the grave, there is another life waiting for us. But that life is dependent upon what we do here. So Rasulullah said that I saw that that the torment of grave was about to be released on him, that his wudu came as a human. Because that person used to be always in wudu, and that wudu repulsed or pushed that torment of grave away and make it peaceful for him. Then Rasulullah said, I saw a person who was in utter darkness. There was no light. And somebody came and pulled that person out of that darkness. And that person was his Hajj and Umrah, that other person who was in darkness, the first person used to perform or did perform. Then I saw a person who the fire is coming and circling around that person, and it is engulfing it, and the person is trying to push it away with his hand, somewhere from his face, from his heart. And then a person came who pulled that person out of the fire and put a shade on top of him. And that was the sadaqah, the charity that the person used to give in the path of Allah. And a person, I saw he is clinging to the bridge of Sirat, the bridge on the day of judgment, on the hellfire, upon which everybody would have to cross, and some will fall over it and some will cross, and across it is Jannah and below it is hellfire. And a person, he's clinging to it because he is about to fall. But then somebody came, held his hand and got him across the bridge. And that was the salah, the namaz that person used to do. And a person, I saw a person who reached the gate of the paradise, but the gate of the paradise is shut on him. It is not opening. And then the kalima, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, Ashhadu la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, it came and it opened the door for him because he used to recite that kalima in the world in his life. And then he said, I saw a person whose deeds are being weighed on the scale, and the scale of his bad deeds is getting down because he had more bad deeds. And then I saw that his children who died as an infant, they came and they sat on the side of the scale that was for good deeds, and that scale went down and the person went to the paradise. And I saw a person who is very thirsty and he is longing for water and he's trying to come to my stream, my springs, Kausar, the Hawz-e Kausar, which will be the only place where you will be able to find the drink on the day of judgment. And the person is trying, but people are pushing him away, and because everybody is trying to be there. And then immediately I saw his rosa came, and it grabs his hand and bring him to the Hawz Kausar and gave him the drink, the pure drink, and the person, he becomes satisfied forever and ever. And said, Rasulullah said, remember, you will only enter paradise when you will say with the pure heart that there La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, that there is no God but Allah Muhammad. That ikhlas, what is that purity of heart that is required for us to enter the paradise, to say this kalima so we enter the paradise? Rasulullah said, ikhlas, the purity is that you refrain from the things that Allah has stopped you from. That is the purity of heart. Don't just say Allah is my Lord. Believe that Allah is your Lord and act that as Allah is your Lord. And that is the most important aspect. Ikhlas, khulus is purity. Being pure in our beliefs is what is required of us. Everything in this world is transient. There are a few facts that never change. We can never change who our parents are. We can never change where our brother and sister are. We can never change our blood relations. And we can never change who we are. We are a human. I can never be a dog or a cat. And we can never change who created us. That is the ultimate truth. Allah is our creator. We can never change it. We believe in it or not, we acknowledge it or not, those are irrelevant things. Fact of the matter is, He created us, and He created us for a purpose, and He told us that purpose. And now, the only thing that we have is we can either suck at this job or we can try our best to do as good as we can in this job, but we have a job. This is the job that we have. Everything else does not matter, because everything else is going to end one day. If a person does not work all his or her life, life will go on. One day the person will be dead. Okay, everything is finished. Once we are dead, nobody cares what did you do or what did you not do. All they care is to just put you in that ditch, cover you with dirt, and move on with their lives. That's pretty much it. That's why you see everybody who is lying dead in a graveyard was somebody's brother, sister, son, daughter. They all were. You see, how frequently do people go there? So that is the fact. So it does not matter. Life passes. Life goes on. What matters is, did you do your job? And we only have one job. The most important job is to do what Allah wants us to do. So what Allah is teaching us here is just saying that, okay, my so and so was such and such is not good enough. Everybody is going to get his or her own deeds in front of Allah. Yeah, somebody, Allah, on the Day of Judgment will bless them and tell them to take other peoples with them to Jannah. But who knows if you will be amongst those other people? What if your father is one of those people, but you were so disrespectful to your father that he does not choose you on the Day of Judgment? He picks somebody else. It's his prerogative. He may pick somebody who was nice to him, or likewise. So don't count on it, because all these relationships that we have in this world, they will only, for most of us, they will not even matter. But even for those who it will matter, the criteria will be much more different. It will be one person over other person. So don't be relaxed. Don't be relaxed that, oh, my so and so was very pious. I'm sure that person is going to pull me out of it. May or may not. And we don't know. We don't know if that person was really pious or was just pretending. We don't know. Sometimes the person spends, Rasulullah said, a person does everything good, so much so that there is just one hand between him and the Jannah. But then something happens. He does something that he got thrown into the hellfire. Up until you die, you don't know. You are not safe. Anytime you can do something bad, something so bad that can burn everything that we had done in all our life before. It's not easy. Never let down your guard. Let alone believing that, oh, so and so who passed thousands of years ago is going to come and save me because I am his or her biological son or daughter. And by the way, we have no way to prove whose biological son and daughter we actually are. Nobody knows. We were just told, and we believed it. Allah did not send anybody with the proof that, oh, this is so and so is your father and daughter and mother. Mother we know, father we don't know. Allah knows. And whatever we are told, we believe in it. That's the fact of it. So the criteria will always be the deeds that we do, how obedient we were to Allah. That is what our focus should be. Everybody's focus should be. Don't let your guard down because your parents were very pious people. I have seen a person. I have told you many times. I walk in front of his house pretty much every day, multiple times. He said he used to come to me and he used to say, oh, I was a Muslim. He was born a Muslim. And then he became, he married a Christian, then he became kind of Christian. But he used to tell me, he said, oh, every Jummah on YouTube, I watch the Jummah prayers all across the world and I just cry and I weep. I know Isa alayhi salam cannot be the God because if he was God, why was he praying to the God? So inside his heart, he had that light of Islam. But he used to say, I cannot be a Muslim. It is so tough. I used to see my grandmother. She was an old lady and she would stand up, wake up in the middle of night for tahajjud. She would fast even when she was old. She would not do anything wrong, and I don't think I'm that strong. And I used to tell him, and he said, and I know there are things that I want, I like, and Islam will not let me do it, so I cannot be a Muslim. So imagine a person who was born in a house where he used to watch his grandmother in the cold waking up for tahajjud in the middle of the night. And his wife, I met her a few months ago, and I said, where is he? She said, he passed away a few years ago. I said, how? And she said, he used to drink a lot, so his liver popped up. What a loss. What a loss. That grandmother is not going to come save him. She did whatever she could have done for herself. It was his choice. And nobody can make our choices for us but us. And the only anchor that we have, Allah has not come to us to tell what He wants from us. He sent Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to tell us what He wants from us. Forget about it that you can be close to Allah by not doing what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us to do. You may not like it. The world may not like it. But that does not change the fact that this is what Allah wants us to do. Remember. Allah has not created this world in equality. Allah's world is not equal. Allah's word is balanced. It is no equality. There is nothing special in equality. You make everything the same cookie cutter. There is nothing in it. It's the most boring thing. Balance, there are different things and everything is balanced together. That is where the beauty comes into play. That is where the beauty, and Allah's creation is beautiful. He did not create everything a replica of anything else. Everything is individual in the creation, and He created everything in perfect harmony. Harmony is not equality. Harmony is balance. Harmony is balance. The forces, the sound waves, they are not equal. They are harmonic. They are balanced, repetitive. Nothing in the world is equal. No two fingers are equal. Not all fingers in the hand are equal. That's not Allah's way of creation. Don't try to make it. Find the purpose for yourself, what Allah has given it to you, and be harmonious to the creation. Be in harmony. Problem with humans are we think we can make everything and everybody equal, and we destroy the harmony, and eventually everything goes back to harmony because it has to, but equality does not exist, and we only try it when we try to think that our thought is better than what Rasulullah told us. And that is because we do not have a pure belief. We do not have that ikhlas inside our hearts. Yes, the world is saying one thing, X, Y, Z, but how long are we going to be in the world? 50, 60, 70, 80, 100, 110, 120. Eventually we have to leave. Where are we going to go then? Stand in front of Allah. And how long? 50,000 years is alone the day of the judgment. 50,000 years. Compare those 50,000 years to 500 years even of this world's life. How much is it? Divide your day, 24 hours, in 50,000 equal portions. And then take out 500 years. That is how much time are you trading off doing whatever I want. And remember, even if a person gets to live 500 years in today's, like last 420 years of his life will be miserable. He won't be able to walk, talk, eat, drink, anything. He'll be just a prisoner. So we need to submit, and the only way to submit to Allah is to submit to Rasulullah sallallahu. And you cannot submit to Rasulullah sallallahu until you love him, you respect him the way he is supposed to be loved and respected. And this is what Nisbat-e-Rasooli is what the love of Rasulullah sallallahu is. There is no following without loving. You follow a person only when you love a person. Otherwise, you can obey the commands, but as soon as you get a chance, you will run away from it. So don't follow XYZ. Make Rasulullah sallallahu the supreme love of your life. That is our goal. That is our task. And that should be the focus of our lives till we leave this world, because that is the only key to success. And that is why we gather here every month, so we can reinforce our belief. We tell ourselves, and we can focus back on what matters the most in our lives. So with this intention and with this purpose, inshallah, we will all start. Say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. कलमा तौहीद ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह मुहम्मद रसूलुल्लाह। कलमा तमजीद सुब्हानल्लाहि वल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि वला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह वल्लाहु अकबर वला हौला वला कुव्वता इल्ला बिल्लाहिल अलिय्यिल अज़ीम। दुरूद इब्राहीमी अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मदिन व अला आलि मुहम्मदिन कमा सल्लैता अला इब्राहीम व अला आलि इब्राहीम इन्नका हमीदुम मजीद। अल्लाहुम्मा बारिक अला मुहम्मदिन व अला आलि मुहम्मदिन कमा बारकता अला इब्राहीम व अला आलि इब्राहीम इन्नका हमीदुम मजीद। सय्यदुल इस्तिग़फ़ार अस्तग़फ़िरुल्लाहल अज़ीम अल्लज़ी ला इलाहा इल्ला हुवल हय्युल क़य्यूम व अतूबु इलैह। आयत करीमा ला इलाहा इल्ला अंता सुब्हानका इन्नी कुन्तु मिनज़ ज़ालिमीन। सूरह फातिहा। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन अर्रहमानिर रहीम मालिकि यौमिद्दीन इय्याका नअबुदु व इय्याका नस्तईन इहदिनस सिरातल मुस्तक़ीम सिरातल लज़ीना अनअमता अलैहिम गैरिल मग़दूबि अलैहिम वलद्दाल्लीन आमीन। Surah Ikhlas, Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad, wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Ayatul Kursi, Allahu la ilaha illa wal hayyul qayyum, la ta'khudhuhu sinatun wa la nawm, lahu ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard. من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. الله الحسيب، الله الحسيب، الله الحسيب. لطيف. يا مجيب السميع، يا مجيب السميع. يا وهاب. يا باري. يا قابض. يا علي العظيم. يا حي يا قيوم. يا حي يا قيوم. يا ذو الجلال والإكرام. يا ذو الجلال والإكرام. يا ذو الجلال. يا يا حنان يا منان. يا غفور يا رحيم. يا غفور يا رحيم. يا جواد يا كريم. يا جواد يا كريم. يا علام الغيوب. يا علام الغيوب. يا علام الغيوب. يا ودود يا عطوف. يا ودود يا عطوف. يا باقي. يا باقي. يا باسط. يا كبير المتعال. سلام قولا من رب رحيم. سلام قولا من رب رحيم. يا بديع العجائب بالخير. يا أرحم الراحمين. يا الله يا رحمن. يا الله يا رحمن. Salatul Khawf, those of you who do not know this Durood Sharif and cannot read, they recite whichever Durood Sharif they know. This Durood Sharif is Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi salatan takunu lana amanam min kulli khawf. Recite Surah Fatiha one time and make dua. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Inshallah, next we will be meeting at the Thanksgiving Day. Uh, this time it's probably gonna be virtual again, but I'll send out the communication.